But if you remember last week, we had our Washington correspondent here, Joe Zamecki.
Hi, how's it going?
Called from Washington, gave us a live report, and we'll get a more thorough report here of what actually happened there in Washington.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a great time. And I have a couple of things to talk about. We did get some good press. C-SPAN carried a couple of our speeches, and we're now learning that a whole lot of people saw it, even though it played like at 3 in the morning on a Tuesday. Let's talk about a couple of them. William Provine was he's a biologist from Cornell University, and he talked about the theological concept of free will, and that one got on C-SPAN. And also Rich Andrews, our Utah State Director, talked about Vardis Fisher, who was an atheist, a novelist, and a historian. And we have one of Vardis Fisher's newest books we just printed, and actually we bought and now we're selling. It's available. And there was also a debate between Ron Barrier and Stephen McFarland. Ron Barrier is a spokesperson of American Atheists, and Stephen McFarland is the director of the Center for Law and Religious Freedom in Annandale, Virginia. And
Did you make it to that?
I didn't. I had to work the book room. I wasn't able to watch basically any of these. But I understand it was a really good debate. Yeah. And then Frank Zendler, our editor, spoke about the prospect of physical immortality, and also quite the scientist. We had Marcy Hamilton, who spoke about the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, and she was a professor of law at Benjamin Cardozo School of Law, and she was the lead attorney in the historic case of Bernie versus Flores, in which the RFRA was struck down for being unconstitutional. And then we had James Monroe speak about alternatives to faith-based addiction recovery programs like SOS, which is Secular Organization for Sobriety, and that was really good talk. Rita Swan spoke. Now, she holds a PhD in English from Vanderbilt University and is currently the president of CHILD. That's Children's Health Care is a Legal Duty, Incorporated, which is an educational membership organization dedicated to the promotion of the legal rights of children in the area of medical care. And this is in response to faith healing. And she actually lost a child to faith healing and is now trying to inform the public as to the problems with that and all the mishaps, obviously deaths. And it was a great time, a great weekend. I got to say hi to some old friends and meet a lot of new friends, and we got some good press again. The Washington Post did a good story, and it was positive instead of negative, and it actually got some Washington, D.C. atheists interested, and a couple said they didn't know there were any organizations out there. But other than that, yeah, the Hyatt Regency too. It was very nice.
Unfortunately, I didn't know that was on, so I didn't get to see a tape of it. I'd love to see a tape of that, the C-SPAN interview, well, report, I guess.
And the debate too.
Yes. And so you did bring in some news articles this week.
Yeah, a couple here. First of all, this is something, you know, this has been going on for a while. In Afghanistan, the Taliban army closed some girls' schools. They abruptly ordered the closing of Tuesday of more than 100 private schools that had been educating girls in defiance of bans aimed at keeping women and girls at home. Included in the closure edict are scores of small home-based vocational training programs, many of them run by international aid groups that teach girls and young women to weave carpets and sew. Under the new rules, the Taliban will issue licenses to schools, but only if the schools don't teach girls older than 8 and limit lessons to the Quran, the Muslim holy book. Ongoing things in Afghanistan, and it's once again it's religion, of course. Here we go, and there was another one. This was in the New York Times in June 16, 1998. Teacher ousted for leading class in prayer. A substitute teacher at an intermediate school in the Bronx has been dismissed for praising Jesus Christ and leading her 6th grade students in prayer. Mildred Rosario was dismissed on Friday after a Board of Education hearing determined that she had violated laws requiring the separation of church and state. Her written statement indicated that she had a religious sense of obligation to advocate her choice of Christianity, and is a Pentecostal. So, and then it was quoted that she had very clearly crossed the line. Let's see, it started when a student began asking about, asked about the death of a classmate who had drowned after stumbling on a slippery rock along the Bronx and while trying to make a shortcut home. According to Ms. Coletti, who is also quoted, the student asked if Christopher had gone to heaven, and Mrs. Rosario replied that he had. She then preached about born-again Christianity and the need to take Jesus as one's personal Savior in class. So, this person has been removed. And I don't really want to see people getting fired, but this is obviously a violation of separation of church and state, and it scares me because my 2 kids are in school too, and I'm not there to police what happens in the school, but I would really expect that it would be reality-based facts and information. This is school we're talking about. So that's that.